to see how we can embed, especially yesterday's gigs and remote workers. Thank you.
Thank you. Convince the policymakers on this end. Eish, I love your outfit, my lord. Are you from Kenya? Okay, thank God.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tosin Fadamsi. I'm from the Central Bank of Nigeria. I am a change practitioner. So what stood out for me yesterday was knowing that though we have our qualifications and experience, they have their place when it comes to recruitment. However, our skills, capabilities, and how well you can adapt are what is being sought currently. Thank you.
Excellent. People were in class yesterday. Who feels inclined to share? This one is my support system.
Okay, thank you. Nakivona Sabuni, a people and culture partner, Compassion International Tanzania, here in Arusha. Yes. So what I have learned is about trust. Working remotely, if you separate working remotely with trust, then you cannot achieve anything, especially in difference of generations. And these young ones, they want to be trusted in order to deliver what their capabilities are. Thank you.
Excellent. Now if you was, okay, all right.
My name is Kola Jolajide from Nigeria. The key takeaway for me yesterday was that Africa has everything, the population, the growth, but the question there was, is the workplace ready for this great resource that we have? And I think being here is learning how to get the workplace ready as HR professional to be able to, take hold of the great advantages that we have in Africa. Thank you.
All right, if you're seated to someone who was not here yesterday, tell them that is all you're getting. Yeah? Yes. So, we have a tour on Saturday. Please register. We need to go and enjoy ourselves and discover Tanzania. Please register. If not for the animals you're going to see, for the fun of it, just to hang out with your friends and make new ones. So please register at the registration desk, and then we'll let you know about, I need to check whether people wore their dancing shoes. Okay, so the tour registration closes over lunch today. And people will be leaving at 6 a.m. on Saturday with the Land Cruiser. So please be here. Hey. Okay. Carly, you've had. The question is 6 a.m. Really? Yeah, don't worry. We'll sort that out. Oh, the animals won't wait for you. Oh, yeah, because if we are late, we're also not going to find any. All right. So I want to also introduce our partners. We have K2 Career Center. Yusuf, K2, are you ready? Okay, we're going to do that later then. But at this point in time, allow me to just move on to the conversation for the day. I think we are ready to learn. Who is ready to learn? Are you ready to learn? Are you ready to learn? Yeah? Please ask the person you're seated next to. What are you asking them now? My God. You guys are the ones who are writing, what do we call them? You're the ones who write notice to show cause. Please respond within 48 hours to the HR office and contact the undersigned. And I know right now you are about to wonder when the emails will start finding you well. Anyway, so we are going to start our conversation this morning, and with us is Miss Bettina Shala. I hope I got that pronunciation right. By the way, I'm going to be murdering your names. I disclaimer, forgive me in advance. I'm Kenyan. Our names are easier. All right, so Miss Bettina is the president of WEC, that is World Employment Confederation. She joined Swiss-based 25 Bio CHF, Adecco Group, the world's leading tech company, and the 600 Bio US dollar private employment services industry in March of 2020. While there, she heads at the Adecco Group. Oh, wait a minute. Gosh, sorry. I need to take water. I've not had breakfast. Prior to that, Bettina was active in the financial services and sports industry and served as a diplomat in the Swiss Foreign Services. At the Adecco Group, Bettina heads the group public affairs function and chairs the group responsible AI committee. After holding multiple roles in the industry, she's also, since 2020, president of the World Employment Confederation, the voice of the private employment services industry. Since 2018, she's a steering group member of the World Economic Forum, Center for New Economy and Society, and in 2020, co-chair of the B20 Future of Work and Education Task Force, a member of the B20 International Business Advocacy Caucus, as well as steering group member of the Global Apprenticeship Network. From 2025, Bettina is also chair of the Business OECD Employment, Labor and Social Affairs Committee. And in 2026, she co-founded the Swiss Education Systems Reform Lab Foundation, CIMET, where she sits at the advisory board. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot finish this profile. My Lord, I want to be you when I grow up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Madam Bettina Shala to come and teach us one or two things. And let's clap until she gets here.
Race. Harabi, habari. Uhaligani. Oh. I'm delighted to be with you here today. Thank you so much again for having me. It is my first time in Tanzania, but it is not my first time in Africa. Actually, over the past 12 months, I was between Angola, Ethiopia, and South Africa. And I have so far also visited Mozambique, Kenya, Northern Africa, Zambia, and of the many countries represented here today, clearly on my bucket list are, well, Rwanda, Botswana. I've been connected to Africa for the past 35 years. The reason is, well, my husband, who is South African, and who I even married in South Africa. So with all that said, I actually feel rather at home here. I must say the cold contributes to that as well. Clearly, I am usually based in Switzerland. Let me congratulate THRAPA for hosting this second Africa Summit. And let me underline that I am a believer. Actually, more than that. I know about the powers of Africa. I know of the African sense of innovation, the African resilience, the African pride, the African notion of Ubuntu, and of course, I know about the power of African talent. The last time I saw this very clearly was in Johannesburg, where I was one of the delegates of the Business 20 Summit in my role as co-chair of the Business 20 Employment and Education Task Force, that B20 Summit in Johannesburg was a true testimony of the force and the power of African business and of African talent. As a matter of fact, the whole year as co-chair of that committee, I witnessed the inputs of many representatives from Africa to what then became the recommendations to the labor ministers and the heads of state. Let me share with you just a few of those recommendations. There were 6 of them, because I think that they will resonate after what I've heard yesterday, notably at this summit, for a joint finance and employment ministers meeting to explore concrete ways to promote more employment. So this is the recognition that very often employment measures actually fail due to financing, the lack of financing. Now, I've actually just yesterday had a conversation with one of your stakeholders here. We will hear from him, who said he doesn't have that issue, which is wonderful. But I can tell you that in many parts of the world, we have in recent times actually seen financing of measures towards employment go back towards financing of AI and technology, and actually financing towards defense activities. This is how the world right now is looking. And so it is in moments like gatherings of G20 ministers that we need to reinforce the notion of investing into employment and HR matters, of course. Recommendation 2 was, and has to be, to increase female labor force participation by removing barriers to women's employment. And Mr. President Raj, I thank you for being such a stern advocate for women in the labor market. Please continue to do so in your important role. And of course, I invite you to look up those recommendations. I think you will find them interesting. Recommendation 6 is about empowering reskilling and upskilling based on real demand. And to close the loop to that financing piece, what we ask there is that G20 countries should set and track a goal of 0.5% of annual GDP for investments in lifelong learning. Now, yesterday we've discussed a lot about re and upskilling, about the necessity for employability. This is not new. Linked to that notion of funding, we said, if we don't settle in budgets of governments and of administrations that baseline of expenditure towards employability, towards lifelong learning, it will not happen. So I wanted to share these insights to give you a feeling as well of what we at the World Employment Confederation do on a daily basis. Let me say a few more words about the World Employment Confederation. It is first and foremost an advocacy organization. We represent that $600 billion industry and represent over 60 million workers around the world. The members are, on the one hand side, the world's largest workforce solutions companies in the world. Actually, their revenues cover 90% of the world's revenues in that industry. And the members are also national federations. We currently have 45 national federations represented in World Employment Confederation. Historically, almost every European country. We have members of Northeast Asia, China, Japan, South Korea. Actually, I will be heading to China in a month. I was meant to head to South Korea in about 6 weeks. Regrettably, I had to cancel that trip. But I do spend regular time in Northeast Asia as well, capturing and connecting those parts of the world to our global community. The WEC is present in the Americas, of course, in the United States, in Canada, in Mexico, in Latin America as well. And WEC is present in Africa, but so far only in South Africa and here in Tanzania. And again, I want to congratulate Thrapa for their visionary leadership in engaging with us. As president, I speak to, well, presidents, prime ministers, ministers of employment, of education, of finance, of digital affairs on a very regular basis. And we always come to the same conclusion, which is that we need cooperation. We need public-private partnerships. But what I've seen in recent times as well is that on the private sector side, the business side, when things get complicated and tougher, well, businesses tend to focus even more on business. And so those interlocutors to the public sector diminish. This is where World Employment Confederation does not diminish. We are more committed than ever as the representatives of this industry, of the workforce solutions industry, of the HR industry, to engage with the public sector. We are absolutely not only convinced, but actually we base our entire understanding on the fact that the world of work is co-created. Labor market regulation does not fall from the sky. It is the result of negotiations, of common explorations, of common initiatives. And again, this is where the World Employment Confederation and its members step in. You might have noticed as well, but every time there is a political campaign, there is a change of leadership in politics in a country, the number one topic that usually politicians run on is jobs, job creation. Interestingly enough, though, when those politicians then come to power, well, they tend to forget that notion of looking to create the most opportunities for their people and needing to focus on labor market policies. Well, World Employment Confederation and its members are here to remind them. And I actually, on a daily basis, make sure that this linkage between a country's competitiveness, a country's attractiveness, and its labor market is clearly articulated. We know it today, and we see it as well. If I now look at, for example, where the World Bank in recent years has started to invest, it is in employment. There is an understanding that if you have a well-regulated labor market that offers all its players the right frameworks, it will contribute to your country's attractiveness and competitiveness. And as I said, it's this interest in collaboration and co-creation that drives us. And of course, it's the expertise that we have in the world of work because of our members who on a daily basis deliver workforce solutions. This is what defines us. And after all, we keep saying, how can labor market regulation be drafted and defined without having those experts at the table as well? So what drives those discussions today? Let's look at the current labor market diagnostic. These are, to us, the 6 challenges and opportunities that every government, every regional entity, and every local organization faces. So let me, over the next minutes with you, unpack these 6 dimensions and wherever I can, apply an African lens to it. And I will do that in all humility because clearly I do not have the full picture of all the activities and initiatives that you unleash on a daily basis. Let me start with the notion of a skills shortage, because to me, this is the biggest failure of our times. I cannot understand how in the year 2026, we still have in most countries a total inadequacy between education systems and the labor market needs. How is it possible, with the know-how we have today, with the understanding of what works in many countries, that we are not willing? I think we should be able to take that to other countries for the benefit, again, of our people, of course, but again, of our labor markets and our economies. Grace, it's true, amongst the many mandates that I have the pleasure to hold, one is to be the chair of the Employment, Labor and Social Affairs Committee of Business at OECD. And in that role, I was part of the OECD Skills Ministerial meeting this year in Istanbul. And I was truly saddened when I heard about the progress that has been made from and across those OECD members, again, of where things stand. Now, our industry is actually a key player in filling that gap on the private side. Our industry is one of the biggest investors in training and in employability solutions. The key, and it was mentioned yesterday, so I know that all of you are allies in this, is we deliver demand-driven solutions. And we focus on this re- and upskilling, on enhancing that talent pool. We build programs for companies. We re- and upskill millions of workers. And as that largest investor in training in many countries, let's now look